Hey, I'm Tron, and this is Word, the Holy Bible in a chapter a day. We have reached Exodus chapter 2 with 25 verses. The Israelites have been forced into slavery to build Egyptian cities, and their newborn sons are systematically thrown into the Nile to drown or get picked apart by indigenous wildlife. In this chaos, a baby boy is born to a Hebrew couple that the mother stashes away for a few months, hoping to avoid the carnage. When her son is no longer able to stay hidden, she follows the letter of the law and puts her boy in the shallows of the Nile herself, but in a weaved papyrus basket, pitched with tar to keep the water out. The baby's big sister follows the basket from the shoreline as it drifts down the river. Pharaoh's own daughter is taking a bath in the waters with her attendants, and the basket catches her eye. The boy's cry catches her heart, and she wants to keep him. This is where the baby sister sees her chance and boldly steps in front of the princess and proposes a nurse for the boy. She just happens to know one, in verse 9. "Take this baby and nurse him for me," the princess told the baby's mother. "I will pay you for your help." So the woman took her baby home and nursed him. The boy will have a privileged upbringing in two ways. He will get to experience the love and affection of his own biological family, something that few other Hebrew boys of his generation could experience. And in addition, under the royal protection of Pharaoh. He gets a new name in verse 10. Later, when the boy was older, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. The princess named him Moses. She explained, "I lifted him out of the water." Many years later, when Moses is fully established, he goes to one of the work sites where the Israelite slaves are employed in hard manual labor. He witnesses an Egyptian abusing a Hebrew and just loses it. He attacks and kills the man, making sure no one else is around to see it, and buries the body in the sand. Someone did see it, and Pharaoh finds out. Fearful for his life, Moses runs away, out of Egyptian territory to the land of Midian, east of what today is Sinai in Saudi Arabia. In the desert, he sits down by a well when he witnesses some local shepherds bullying some girls drawing water from it. He chases the shepherds away and gets water for the young lady's animals for them. They in turn invite him to dinner, and their dad invites the stranger to stay, in verse 21. Moses accepted the invitation and is settled there with him. In time, Reuel gave Moses his daughter Zipporah to be his wife. Reuel is a Midian priest and prince, very likely a believer in God, and possibly also an Ethiopian. Reuel means friend of God. He is later in the biblical text referred to as Jethro, which is a title meaning His Excellency. Zipporah gives Moses the first of his two sons, Gershom. The second son, Eliezer, will be born later. Moses is about 40 at the meeting at the well, and he will stay on as a shepherd for 40 more. When the time is about ready for God's plan of deliverance for his people, in verse 24, God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Moses, the condemned boy, adopted prince, murderer, and now aging shepherd, will be used by God to save his people from oppression, and will be called by the Lord in Exodus chapter 3, tomorrow. Until then, Word.